Hello, 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 everybody. Everyone, hi. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Kara's here. Kara's here fast today. Coast to coast teacher, hi. Sap Bunny, hi. D, hold on, I need to accept everyone. Hello, everybody. Welcome.
Hi.
Hello. Hi. How is
How y'all
everyone?
doing?
Good. How are you guys?
I'm good. I'm good. Better than yesterday.
Me too.
Better than yesterday. So can't complain there.
Yeah, me too.
Oh yeah, a lot better. I was struggling yesterday.
Me too.
I know, right? It was bad. So tonight was kind of a tame episode. There wasn't a lot of drama, but there's still some stuff that we can talk about. So this episode for me, I had an issue with Julio. Like, I had a real problem with it because Kirsten arrives in New Jersey and he didn't really care that the situation that he put her in has affected her. She is feeling awkward about meeting his mom for the first time because he's like, oh, well, I haven't told her that I'm going to leave. I didn't even tell her about you until like 3 weeks ago. And she's like been put into this situation and she's feeling super awkward and he's not manning up, right? Like, I was like, it's a point where you have to be a man and do the right thing. And the reason why these two women are hurting is because of you.
Yeah.
You put them through all of this stuff, and now they're dealing with the effects of your bad behavior, your lack of being honest, your lack of being real with them. And I just felt like he had little to no remorse for how he put her in that situation, because she's in the car and she's super nervous and she needs to be comforted as they're driving to his mom's house. And instead of him comforting her, he's like nervous because he's scared to confront his mother and tell her the truth. And I'm like, it's not about you at this point. Like, this is all your fault. The reason why she's gonna be hurt and the way that she's gonna react the way that she is because you wouldn't tell her the truth. I feel like regardless of the situation, she wasn't gonna be happy, but I feel like his mom is gonna be hurt even more because he kept it a secret. And I feel like the way that he made it seem like his mom isn't a priority, because he was just like, I made up my mind. I don't, I'm not going to change my mind. This is what I want. And he waited so long to tell her. It made her feel like she's not a priority in his life. And it was really hurtful.
Yeah. I liked them in the beginning, but I have to say, so far, they're the most boring couple. I was literally trying to stay awake during theirs. It was just,
Yeah.
but his mom, holy cow, she is so beautiful. She looks the same age as them.
Mm-hmm.
She just looks good, but they're just boring. I'm sad for her.
Yeah.
But boring.
Yeah. It's hard, but he's 27 or 28. It's like, I know it's going to be hard for her to let him go. I didn't realize that she had two other sons.
I didn't
The
even.
way that, I know, right? I was assuming that he was the
Yeah.
only child, the way that the relationship was described to me, and the way that she reacted when she found out that he was dating someone or that he was going to try to leave the country. I assumed he was the only child. So the idea that she has two other sons, it kind of reminded me of that show, I Love a Mama's Boy, where the mom clearly has a favorite son and that's her favorite.
Yeah.
And I think she's gonna take it harder because it's Julio and not one of the other sons. I hate to say that, but that was just the way her emotions were.
Yeah.
Hey, Judy.
Well, I think she would have took it a whole lot better if he would have just been honest from the get-go. I mean, I get it where he said that he didn't want to say anything at first because he wanted to see if it was going to turn into something. I get that. But as soon as he seen that it did turn into something and they're serious and they're talking about moving in with each other and then him moving all the way to the Netherlands, that was the time he needed to sit down to talk to his mom. So instead of him having her having a year to prepare herself, she's got a couple of months.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's And it was hard too watching Kirsten realize for the first time that when he was over there with her, he wasn't serious. She was like, well, this is news to me. I thought that we were serious. I told everybody in my family,
Yeah.
you know, that we were together and that what was going on. And she was like, I didn't realize that you were like on a trial run with me. Like, I wish that I would have known that ahead of time, because he was like, well, I didn't know what was going to happen. You know, I was just seeing how things were going. And she's like, well, I thought that we were a little more serious in that. It's been, what, 11 months, I believe? Like 11 months, and within 2 to 3 months, he wants to move in. Well, I thought he wanted to move in with her. Apparently, he just wants to move to the Netherlands. We're going to see in a future episode that he might not actually want to live with her.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about that later on. But, like, the fact that he thinks that it wasn't serious and he's just telling his mom, like, I just don't like how he moves.
Yeah.
Like, the way he moves bothers me. Like, he only thinks about what's going to work best for him. He disregards everybody else in the situation. Like, he doesn't care how keeping secrets from his mom hurts his mom. He doesn't care how pretending like Kirsten doesn't exist hurts Kirsten. Like, he's only thinking about himself. And I think that the way that he moves, for me, I just can't do.
Well, and his mom straightforward said he's never been honest.
Yeah, she did.
Yeah.
She's like, exactly.
And he did not want to interpret that. So he did not want her to know that that's what his mom said. So his brother said it for him. He's never honest.
And it's true. It's true. The way that he moves, he's a sneaky guy. He keeps secrets, and he's not even as smart as he thinks he is, because his mom was like, I've spoken to you when you were overseas. There was always a woman's voice in the background. I've always asked you who it was. You just didn't want to be honest. I knew what was going on. He just didn't want to actually be open and honest. He could have told his mom 7 months ago.
Yep.
When she asked, you know, and made it a little easier. Because the fact that he's been dating her for almost a year and he just told his mom, that has to be hurtful, you know, for his mom, because as close as they describe their relationship, I feel like that has to be really hurtful to her, because she's going to feel like they're not as close as they thought they were. I was a mama's boy growing up, so I know if I did something like that to my mom, she would be really pissed at me. Like, she'd be really angry, because we told each other everything. She knew what was going on in my life. I knew what was going on in her life. So if I would have kept it from her, she wouldn't have been happy with me at all. And the way that his mom reacted, it showed the level of hurt that he put her through. And he was just like wanting to console her. And I'm like, don't try to be sensitive and open and nice now. This is what you did. These are the consequences of your actions when you're dishonest.
Yep.
Yeah. And to top that off, he only called her a friend at the time.
Yeah. I saw her reaction to that, because, well, she had two reactions on this episode when they were sitting on the park bench, and he told her, well, I didn't know if you were really serious enough for me to tell my mom. And then when she said, oh, okay, and she said that, she was like really shocked. Like, she was kind of looking over at him like, you're not exactly who I thought you were. You know, like, the things that I hear from you and the things that you tell me are not what you're telling other people. And she kind of had an eye-opening moment, you know, like, who is this guy sitting across from me? I don't really know who he is. He tells me one thing, he does another thing. And another thing that really was going to bother me was having Kirsten there and him being a mama's boy. I was hoping that his mom didn't blame her.
Yeah.
Because I watch a lot of I Love a Mama's Boy, and I notice whenever the boys do something the mom doesn't agree with, they always blame it on the girlfriend. They're like, oh, well, she's manipulating my son. She's a bad influence on my son. They don't like to say that their son is the one behind the bad behavior. So I will say I was happy that his mom, Anna, didn't just go straight to whatever is happening, it's because of her. I am glad that she realized that her son isn't perfect, because no one is perfect, but I know a lot of moms, for some reason, believe that their sons are perfect. So I was just glad that she knew and opened her eyes enough to say, yeah, I don't like this situation, but I know that he did it, you know?
For sure.
Yeah. That was, see, y'all know me. Y'all already know what I'm going to say. I would have said, you know what? I would have punched him in the face right then.
That is your solution to everything lately.
Yeah, that's
just punching people in the face. No point in talking, right? Just punching people in the face.
Punch him in the face. Get it over with.
Show him.
Show
him right now.
I have to keep a credit card on hand with you when we hang out, so I can bail you out every time you punch somebody in the face.
Yes.
So, okay, so
I know, right?
I want to talk about Holly and Wayne, because Wayne is building his own home security system. And so we learned that in 6 months he was broken into 3 times, and the third time it was even more tragic because the burglars took the life of his dog, Stormy, which is one of his children, basically, is his child. And Holly actually got to know the dog as well. And I'm really shocked at the level of crime. And then we learned about, what did they call it? Power shedding, where they cut the power, the grid of power when, how do you explain it? They're trying to reduce the amount of power on the grid. Is that what they're doing? So when the city is using too much power, they cut the power to reduce the amount of, yeah, I believe that's what it is. So they don't overpower the power grid, is I think what they're trying to do. And during that time, the security systems, that you buy in your home, they don't work. Your cameras, they don't work. They all need Wi-Fi. They all need power. So there's no way to protect your home. So he's building this home security system that is going to spray pepper spray. And the first thing I thought of was, because Holly's mom is living there, is she's going to accidentally open the garage and get pepper sprayed. Is that what you guys were thinking as well?
First thing I thought was, if it was me, I'd be the first one to get pepper sprayed because I'd forget.
I know that's right.
I mean, you go in the garage at, I don't know, 12 midnight because you need something out of the deep freezer or whatever, and you forget, and then you get pepper sprayed, and now you're laying on the garage floor hoping that somebody comes save you. That's the first thing I was thinking. I was like, that's a good idea, but it's also a horrible idea as well. I mean, I understand that he has to do what he can to keep himself safe, because apparently, even in a gated community, he was saying that the crime is still high. Because of the power grid situation, because, gates can be climbed. He did have some sort of sharp spikes on the gates around the house, which I did see. He has made modifications to the house to try to make it safer. Hey, Tracy.
But how much pepper spray do you actually need to make that go on? I mean, he's going to need like a whole vat right there, that just like a 55-gallon drum that just pumps into it. Because
it looked like he had a gas tank or something, like a small gas tank full of pepper spray, or at least that's what he said it was. Anyway,
where do you get that amount of pepper spray? Where do you?
I don't know. I don't think you can buy it at Costco. I don't think you can buy it at Costco. So I'm not sure. I don't know. That's a good question. How do you justify? Do you need like a license to buy that much pepper spray? Because that's considered a weapon, right? Like, I'm pretty sure that they're gonna limit how many. Because when you go to Walmart and you try to buy like spray paint, like, you can't just buy the whole case, because inhaling it can be deadly. So, like, there's limits to these things. So, I don't know how he got that entire vat of pepper spray. That's a whole nother question, right? But I think what got me was Holly's mom was like, I want you to move to a gated community. Let's go look at places. And I was like, don't you think if this man was robbed 3 times in 3 months and he's lost his dog in the process, if he could afford a gated community, why would he still be living there and making these modifications? I think their expectations are unreasonable. He just doesn't have the money. And I think that if he had the money, there was absolutely no chance that he would have himself in that house. I think this is just where he needs to be. And unfortunately, it's not going to. So how do you guys feel about Holly's mom wanting her to be safe? Are you safe anywhere? Because I was having this conversation on Twitter. Like, what is your definition of feeling safe?
Has anybody looked up the crime rate in South Africa? I have not.
I haven't. I know it's supposed to be high, though, because I remember when Tiffany was there with Ronald, we heard the exact same thing. But this was also in Johannesburg. So it could just be that particular city.
But remember, too, they, even Tiffany and him went to the gated community, and the lady or the realtor that was showing them not the hotel, the apartment, even said that there's still high crime there, and hopefully if you scream loud enough, someone will hear you. Oh my gosh, my words are not wanting to come out tonight.
But the crime in South Africa is less than the crime rate in Mexico City. So that tells me that that Wayne and Ronald, because I don't like Ronald either, but Wayne and Ronald, I mean, they must have done something to get on somebody's shit list for them to be just constantly being robbed.
That's true too. That's true. Somebody said
funny.
to have that much pepper spray is probably going to get you on somebody's government watch list.
Yeah.
So I was thinking maybe he has some dealings, that there's things in his house that are very interesting to people to have. Like, we don't know his story.
We looked up Mexico City and it was like 48%, something like that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's high in South Africa, but it's 36%.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's still high.
I mean,
that's high.
Even, I mean, whenever you go to Walmart, I mean, you got to be watching your back because there's so much stuff going on. So, I mean, I would want my daughter to be safe if she was in a different country. Yes, I would take all steps possible to keep her safe, or to get her as safe as possible. But, I mean, even in the United States, you're not safe. So,
well, yeah, that's what I was wondering. Like, what is the level of safety that her mom wants for her to be comfortable? Because even in the U.S., we hear of crimes happening everywhere. It doesn't matter where you live, gated community, urban community, country, or a rural community. These crazy crimes happen all the time. I have to turn the news off half the time because I'm just so shocked at all of the crazy things going on. So for her to say, I need her to know that she's safe, I'm thinking, well, what level of safety would make her comfortable? And I mean, asking him to move to a community he can't afford, and then even being, when the power goes out, if you're in a gated community, what does it matter that you're in a gated community? You don't have any other protections, because don't the gated community gates, aren't they powered by like electricity? Because they right. So what if the power goes out while the gates open? Yeah. Can't people just walk in? You know, or vice versa. So it doesn't really make it, so spending the extra money isn't going to guarantee safety. And I think a lot of people, especially us in America, we think the more money you spend, the higher the quality, or the safer the area, the more expensive the house, the safer. That is all a myth.
Yeah.
It's not true. And I think that she's worried about her safety, which is normal for a mom. But I think her being there for these 2 months is going to really help her feel comfortable if it's safe or not. She needs to stay there and see what it's like. Can she go out to the store by herself? Can she drive down the street or walk down the street alone? Those are the type of things that you have to feel out in a community, because a lot of people, like, I know people who work in real estate and they'll say, I don't like to tell people about neighborhoods. I tell them to spend some time in that area and see how you feel. Because there are people who leave reviews on Zillow who say, oh, I hate this area. It's terrible. It's dangerous. And then 2 reviews down says, I've been here 17 years and I love it and I feel safe. So I think it's all very relative to who you are and how you feel. So I don't know. I just think it's interesting that they've been there for 5 minutes and they want him to move to a new place.
The way she's dressed and the fact that she looks like she's higher than a kite constantly isn't. I mean, she looks like an easy target.
Yeah, she's
true.
She's on. I told y'all last week that she is on something. That, I mean, there's no way possible. I mean, she's on something.
The only
she's got to be.
Have on this couple this week is drugs is bad. That's literally it.
Drugs are bad. Okay, so what do we think about him saying that in the preview she might be dressed like a prostitute? Do you think that comes from a good place?
I mean, she was. I think he's calling it like he sees it.
So, yeah, I mean, when you go somewhere different to another country, I mean, you can't dress like any way you want to. You have to. I mean, I'm not saying like be like, you know, from covered up from neck all the way, you know what I'm saying, from neck down. But how she was dressed, no. That's like I mean, I get it where he's coming from. I see it as him trying to be like forewarner, and then him trying to be like a prick about it too.
Yeah.
So I mean, I get on both ways, but in South Africa, from even watching, you know, before, that's just a way a woman does not dress because they automatically think you're prostituting.
Yeah.
Interesting. Well, I kind of agree with you, because they're worried about safety, and if she's presenting herself in a way that might make her a target, like you said, then it's a matter of him saying, hey, I want you to be safe. If I'm not with you and you're dressed like that, somebody might mistaken you
Yeah.
for doing something that you're not, and then approach you
Yep.
for that. So I mean, I'm very against telling people how to dress and how to live, but I do agree with you. And when you go to other countries and other places that you aren't familiar with, you should be open to criticism and learning about the area that you're in.
Yeah.
You don't know everything. You don't know how things work everywhere. And just because where you're from, that's how you dress and it's completely normal. When you go across the pond, all of those rules that you've learned growing up here do not apply anymore. So you do have to be open to that constructive criticism. It's in the delivery. You know, I don't think calling somebody a prostitute is the best way to tell them to dress a little more conservative, but it's probably effective.
Yeah.
You know, I think it got her attention, right? I think it definitely got her attention. She's not going to be happy. He's probably going to be sleeping somewhere far away from her. Well, they're Jehovah's Witnesses anyway. They're supposed to be sleeping away from each other anyway. So how do we feel about that? Do you think that they're really going to not have sex until marriage, or do you think this is BS?
If the mom's there, I don't think that they're going to. But one thing that just really pissed me off, since we brought up mom, is the fact that he made breakfast and never offered the mom anything. She gave her a bite. Mom's like, that's good. And that was a wrap. Sorry, Mom, you're starving, but, you know, find your own man. Like, that was horrible. I felt so bad for her mom.
I know, I did. I saw that too.
That was terrible.
I mean, he probably feels like she's not my responsibility.
Yeah.
But she kind of is. She kind of is. She's in your house. She's a guest in your house. She's now going to be a part of your family. She kind of is your responsibility. And I know he would rather her not be there. I get it. But that doesn't mean that she doesn't need to eat like everybody else. You know, like that's not, she has to eat too. So.
Yeah. That made me mad.
Yeah, if he expects her to want to leave her daughter there, I mean, he needs to show some kind of respect.
Yeah.
I mean, we get it. He's done said it a million gazillion times that as soon as they're married, he's kicking her out of the house. Yeah. We get it. But in the meantime, fix the woman on the plate.
Well, yeah, I feel like it's not off the table for her mom to leave and take Holly with her. Yeah. Like, I feel like as a mom, it's her responsibility. Like, if she doesn't feel safe with her being there, she's going to take her with her. Because I always tell people, I was like, treat the parents right. Because if they don't trust you and they don't trust your ability to take care of their child, they'll just take their child and they'll be gone. Yeah. And you don't have that option. So a lot of people are like, well, I don't care if your mom likes me or not. I'm going to be with you. And I'm like, and some people we learn with like Julio and other people, it doesn't work that way. Sometimes the mom is the deciding factor in the situation. And I think Holly really does take her mom's opinion very highly in her life. She wants her mom's approval. She wants her mom to get along with her husband. She wants her mom and her husband to have a relationship. And I don't feel like he's putting forth that effort. He kind of feels like, I already have Holly. That's all I have to win over. Her mom is just there and I don't have to deal with it. And I don't think that's going to fly. I feel like her mom is going to be one of those overly involved mother-in-laws. Well, she already is, because she's there for the wedding for 2 months. Yeah. I don't know many moms who do that. Like, moms will go to the wedding and stay a week. They'll even try to, like, go on the first 2 days of the honeymoon on the cruise and then leave. Like, there's overly involved moms. This mom is way in their life. Like, she's already staying for 2 months, which I think is way too long. So I think he needs to just treat her right, give her a good first impression of who he is, so when she does leave, she's comfortable and she doesn't come back. Because, Wayne, if you don't want her there, don't give her a reason to come back. You know, because if she's not safe, she's going to pack up and come back, right? So don't give her a reason to come back. Convince her that it's okay.
This is very much going to be a Chris kind of situation, I feel like. Like, when she finds out that she's not able to get the drugs that she needs or whatever she needs her access to, she's going to, and I think that's why mom's there.
Interesting.
Yep.
I mean, I think that she's definitely, when she got to the airport, she was acting super weird, right? Like, I felt like the travel, I know travel can make people sick, but the way that she was kind of out of it and just not coherent, I just thought there's something going on here. We're going to have to figure that out. And I think the mom probably, like you said, is aware of it. And she's there to make sure that she's okay until she can find the doctors or whatever she needs to be okay. But I don't I don't know how that works over there because the standard of things are much lower. So it's like, would she be able to get the same thing she needs over there that she does over here? That's going to be the test.
Yeah.
And if she can't stay with the things that she's currently doing, she's not going to want to stay. And
Yeah.
I think Wayne is maybe so do we think Wayne is aware of that type of behavior, or do you
Very
think
possible. I mean, watching him, there's little actions that I'm like, okay, so he's going to be the supplier. You know, he's okay with it. But
really?
Yes, that's what I was thinking too, Car. I was like, wait a minute. He looks like someone that, you know, would probably help her get the stuff. So
he's got
yeah.
access to it. He's getting robbed all the time. There's a handful of things. Mom's just kind of in the way. And I think it's going to unfold bad.
Yeah.
So Kenny and Armando are checking out schools for, well, they're not necessarily enrolling anyone, but they're checking out schools in Mexico City. And Kenny is using if I can win Hannah over, you know, I can win Armando over, which I don't like the tactic. I think I said it already. I don't think that children should be used as weapons.
Yep.
You know, I think that when people weaponize children and they're like, well, if I can convince your child to do it, you would have to do it because you would want to make your child happy. I just disagree with that tactic because children are not ploys. You know, if you can't convince them of your own accord to do something, don't ask their child to get in on it. Or I don't know.
Yeah.
It didn't rub me the right way. I just felt
agree.
I'm so disappointed in Kenny. I'm so disappointed in him.
Me too.
I can't believe he said that.
Portuguese Princess says she's bored with their storyline. I am too, and it just started. I am too. I feel like this storyline is it's like beating a horse, a dead horse or a crippled horse. Like, it's clear Armando has no interest in moving. Kenny wants to move. There was no baby talk in this episode, so I guess they're focusing just on the moving part. But I just feel like we saw in a preview for next week, they were looking to tell Armando's mom about their thoughts or plans to move. And she was like, oh my God, I've already dealt with you moving from us to Mexico City. Now you want to move even further. And that's going to make it even more difficult. And that's probably what Armando was counting on, you know, having somebody to back him up, you know, to say, this isn't what I really want. And I think that Armando doesn't really want to be a part of a big city because you guys brought up, he grew up in a pretty small village with his family all on one property, like moms, aunts, dad, cousins, everybody was all together. So the idea of a huge big city is definitely something that wouldn't interest him. And he's like, the crime is different. And, you know, with them being a same-sex couple, they have to worry about safety in that aspect. And then they have a daughter that they're bringing, so they have to worry about her safety. You know, it's a lot to bring into the lifestyle that, you know, they're trying to maintain as it is. And I feel like they've only been living where they're living now for like a couple of years, right? I don't know. I feel like Kenny's from Florida. If they really want to move, wouldn't it make more sense to just come back to Florida?
Yeah,
that's what
but I
was thinking.
I feel like once a couple is married and has been on Pillow Talk, I don't feel like they should be back for anything. I mean, we've already watched their happy marriage. You know, they're doing well. We're filming them on a vacation is all we're doing.
Well, right.
Like,
it's kind of like one of those specials where the teen moms did it, where they it's like teen mom family vacation.
Yeah,
I believe we're just watching them on a fun trip, hanging out, and I feel like that's kind of what we're doing. Like she said, their storyline is boring only because, like you said, they're in love.
Yeah.
And their problems are exaggerated because they really don't have any problems.
Right.
And I think that's the issue. It's like no one wants to say we're sick of them per se. We want some drama. And, you know, if you can't bring the drama, move over and let somebody bring some drama because that's what we want. We love that they're happy.
I feel like
being happy isn't entertaining.
Yeah. TLC didn't have, they needed one more couple for the show, but didn't have it. So they were like, okay, who's well loved in the franchise and what can we add? So they brought them back for funsies. That's why we're not seeing a whole lot of them, but their storyline is just, I mean, what is the storyline? Kenny
Yeah,
and
There
Armando.
isn't one.
I mean, they bringing back another couple too that nobody really wants to see. So they come in next week. Whatever. I don't even care
Only,
about that couple, to be honest
But
with you.
only with
Kenny
that
and Armando
though.
on Pillow Talk, like with them being on Pillow Talk, we see the happy them. We
Yeah.
know they're happy. We know
Yeah.
they've got a candle business and all this shit. We know that they're not like at home duking it out because one of them wants to have a baby and one of them wants to go on vacation. That's not happening. You know, this is a storyline, and it's
Yeah.
it's silly.
At least with Danielle and Johan, I believe this is when they were filming when they actually really did break up. Is what I heard.
Who cares about them?
Yep.
I did want to see Johan kind of tell her how he really felt. I felt like he was coming into his own. So if they really did break up, I feel like it would be fun to watch him finally let her have it.
Yeah.
You know? I feel
Did you
like we've
see
earned
her
that.
in the preview where she's pulling out and cussing? Like, she even drives like a bitch. Like, come
Well,
on.
She was driving on the curb,
Yeah.
and then she was cutting
Yeah.
people off, and then she's cussing at the people that she cut off.
Drives like a bitch.
And what
I
is
mean,
going on with her hair? Like,
She
who
got
in the
great
heck told her
she got me
that she looked?
not
Come on
kidding.
now.
She got me on a hair extensions. I'm not even kidding. She got
It's-
the ponytail. She got all the stuff. Miona did a thing where she was color matching Danielle. It's Miona's hair extensions.
Oh, I didn't catch
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Now, Miona, she's got some nice stuff. She's got some nice stuff, but I mean, that hair just don't fit Danielle. I'm sorry, but it don't fit her at all.
It's gonna take more than hair to make Danielle a pretty person.
It is. But something I did want to say about Armando and Kenny. Okay, well, when Armando and Kenny got married, Kenny moved to Mexico to be with Armando, right?
Yep.
Mhm.
Okay, which means Armando should be close to his family, but Kenny has taken him from his family to La Misión,
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
and now which is I think is like 5 or 6 hours away from where he lives.
Yeah.
Now wants to pick him up again and take him, I don't know, a couple of days down the road. I mean, how is that? I'm not in agreement with that because I mean they're supposed to be living like with family. That's why Armando wanted Kenny to move over there so he could be with his family.
Yep.
He's not with his family.
Yep.
None of this is making sense.
It
Just saying.
seemed to me,
That's all it is. We're watching them go on vacation.
yeah, they're checking out cities in Mexico that they wanted to see.
Yeah.
That's all they're doing.
Yeah.
Because they clearly are fine because Kenny bought that townhome in La Misión.
Yep.
He owns that place. He bought it. They picked it out. I remember on the episode when they were looking at it, like they're definitely happy where they are. So they're just TLC's giving them free trips around Mexico and they're taking them. You know,
and they
I
have
would
an
do the same
amazing water view, like of the ocean. Right. Like, are you crazy? Why would you want to leave that and go look at cement?
Right.
I mean, it's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, I'm in agreement. I think they needed one more couple and they couldn't find one. So
yeah.
So
yeah.
Brandon arrived in the Philippines and Mary informed us that she's not allowed to, traditional wise, she's not allowed to hug, hold hands, or kiss Brandon without, she doesn't have to be married to him, but she would have to have permission from either her brother or her grandfather. But she decided to break that rule, which I don't know. I feel like they're both grown. That's okay. But again, I don't know the culture, and I don't think it's, you know, I'm not telling anybody to go against their culture or whatever, but I definitely feel like hugging someone is okay, right? I mean, if you're meeting someone for the first time, you've been talking for like over 2 years, hugging somebody should be okay. It got awkward. There was a lot of, I'm not a big like public affection of watching other people, so there's too much kissing and hugging and all that for me. But I wanted to say there wasn't a whole lot of fighting in these scenes with them, which I don't know, was good, I think, because all we ever saw was negative, toxic behavior between the two of them. And he did keep saying, like, when we get together, it's going to be different. When we get together, it won't be so bad. And then when I saw them meet, I mean, it was only probably like a couple of hours, but still, that was a very healthy couple of hours based on all the negative, toxic, unhealthy behavior that we've seen so far. So I had like a small glimmer of hope, like in the back of my mind, because I was like, oh wow, there's other women in this airport. She's not starting anything. She's not saying, you know, he was looking at some woman as he was walking out of the door. Like there's might be some hope for them to grow into adult human beings and be in a relationship. Maybe it's possible.
Yep. And I was going to say exactly what Portuguese Princess just said. I'm such a petty bitch that I would have been like, your brother is a man, and I'm sure your brother has friends. Why are you at the airport with your brother? Because I'm sure his friends want to be here too. I mean, it's so ridiculous. The way they had to be on the phone while he's walking through the airport, all of that. It just,
Yeah, that was, oh my gosh, that was so stupid. I'm like, are you serious? You having to watch him walk through the freaking, but mind you, he couldn't even go visit his mom or his sister, but she could ride to the airport with her brother.
Oh, yeah, because she can do whatever she wants.
Yep.
He's not allowed to question anything that she's doing. If she does, you know, she told him not to even come.
Yeah.
Like when he questioned her about the seating, like, look, this is where I'm sitting, and she's like, don't even come. I don't even want to be with you. I'm sick of you. I'm tired of you.
Yeah.
And that's just how she was. But then when he calls her and says that he's in Manila at his hotel, she's all excited and happy.
Yeah.
And it was just like, you told him not to come, but you wanted him to be there. Like it's that song, the Justin Bieber song, where he's like, well, what do you mean? When you say yes, you mean no. You say no, you mean yes. I don't understand what you mean. She's the definition of that song. You can't take anything that she says at face value. She'll tell you she doesn't want to see you when she does. She'll tell you she hates you when she loves you. She's just one of those people that you're never going to be able to read.
Yep. She's terrible, man. All of this makes me sick. It just, watching them just makes me sick. But okay, I get that every culture is different, but can you imagine? I don't care what culture it is. I understand asking for someone's hand in marriage. That's a respect thing. I understand not, going to town in front of the parents or whatever, but I would never expect someone to go to my parents, I don't care where I'm at, and say, can I make out with your daughter? I mean, you don't ask. I've never heard of someone asking if you can kiss them or hug them. Either it's against a religion or it's not. But to ask permission to be able to physically touch your significant other is the craziest thing.
It's first of all weird.
Yeah.
I feel like that's such a weird thing to ask a dad or a grandfather or a brother. Like, ew. It's just weird. Like, why? I don't know. I get cultures and traditions, and it's all different. I scratch my head a lot of times because it's just so strange what people can and can't do. And it wasn't that they couldn't do it because they weren't married. It was more so that you needed permission.
Yeah.
And I was like,
that's weird.
It made me think of children. Like you were saying before, I was like, they treat them like children.
Yeah.
That's what you were right. That's exactly what you said. You were like, they don't treat them like they're adults. They treat them like they're children who need their parents' permission. And I agree with you. That's exactly how it feels.
It's weird. It's just.
And they kept talking about their ancestors. Like their ancestors would be mad if they did stuff like that. Like,
well, it's fine. Your ancestors are dead. Don't worry about it. Like, move on.
I can't with these two. I really can't. I mean, and
Donna said, but he hugged the rest of the family.
Yeah, he almost laid in the grandpa's lap. Did you see that awkward?
Yeah,
that was so.
But you're not supposed to touch people, right? So it was super confusing. I felt the same way because I was like, well, you're not supposed to hug people, but he hugged the whole family when he got there. He hugged the brother at the airport. So I was like, I'm confused. Is it just because she's a girl he's not supposed to do that? Like, I don't know. The whole thing.
The mom. I mean, it doesn't make any sense. All of it's bullshit. It's all bullshit. I'm so mad at this couple. I can't even stand it. But I yeah. I don't know if you want to call them a couple.
And she said she didn't care if she was breaking the rules.
Yeah.
So she wants to do it. So I'm pretty sure they're going to be breaking a lot of rules.
Yeah.
So.
Well, yeah, because we know somebody ends up expecting. You know, we know that that's coming soon. And I don't know. I don't know if it happened before they got married or after.
Yeah.
But we definitely know that that's coming. And I just think that this couple has so much work to do. Oh, can we talk about the house? So is this house that he arrived at, is this the house that he built?
I think
Supposedly. That's
So
what he said.
So the grandparents are living in the house that he built.
Yeah, that's what I was getting.
Yeah. And they kind of were treating him like he was a guest in the house. Did y'all get that? Like,
Yeah.
because he was like, I want her family to like me, as though if they didn't like him, he couldn't stay there. But isn't it his house? Yeah, that was confusing to me too, because I was like, when do we get to see the house? And then I was thinking, well, maybe this is the house. They're already living in it. And they definitely were territorial, you know, with the house. They definitely made him feel like, you're entering our home.
Yeah.
You're not entering yours. Because the feeling that I got when he was walking on the porch was he was entering their home.
Yeah.
Not a home
Well,
that
do they even know that he's the one that sent the money over there? I mean,
they have to know, right?
I would think that they would know.
I feel
like
they would have to know it's him, because she's talking to him all the time, 24/7. Because I was thinking that as well, because I was like, well, does she have time to really, hey, Jamie, to really, does she have time to really cheat on him? Or kind of scam anyone else, because they're literally on the phone even when they're sleeping.
Well, she's always taking undoing the internet and cutting the phone off.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but is that enough time to scam someone out of like thousands and thousands of dollars? I think Brandon is her main, victim? He has to be like the main victim, right? Because if he really did send between $50,000 and $60,000 to her for a house. Oh, and so what are our opinion on the house? Because you guys said it costs about $20,000 to build a really nice house in the Philippines, and he said that he sent her between $40,000 and $60,000. So does the house look, you know, expensive to you? Because I wasn't getting those vibes. I wasn't getting like, this is one of the nicest houses in the Philippines vibes.
Oh no.
I mean, probably a little nicer than most of the houses in the Philippines that I've seen on TV. I've never been there, but a little nicer than what I've seen on TV. But she was a model for so long. I'm sure that she spent a shitload of money on clothes and all that stuff.
Well, yeah, he had no way of knowing what she was spending the money on.
Yep.
Because even if she was showing him progress of the house being built, he didn't know what materials costs were. He didn't know any of that. So he could have sent her $5,000. $1,000 of it went to the house, materials, and work, because, you know, $1,000 is a lot of money,
right?
In the conversion rate.
Yeah.
So that could have went just towards the house and material, and she could have kept the other $4,000, did whatever she wanted with it, and the house still would have been built. There's no accountability. There's no way to check records. You know, there's no accounting. It's just her, and she's like a child. You know, so there's no way for us to know what actually happened with this money. And I'm assuming that the house is probably in her name or her grandparents' name. So in actuality, if they wanted to kick him out, it's not even his house.
No.
Because,
well, I mean, she could have easily said that she built it with the money that she was making from modeling.
Yeah.
Well, right. I'm pretty sure if this structure is standing, it has to be in someone's name.
Right.
He wasn't there to sign anything. So there's no chance that that house has any ties to him, even though he paid for it, all of it. It has no ties to him. So if anything was to go wrong, I feel like he would be ass out of luck.
Yeah.
He would have to go back to the U.S. because if they wanted to kick him out of the house, how is he going to prove that he built the house or he paid for the house? You can't prove it.
But another stupid thing she said has nothing to do with the house, but she said, I have trust issues because my ex-boyfriend cheated on me 10 times and I forgave him 10 times. Well, girl, you're a virgin, first of all, so no wonder he cheated on you, you know, but and that sounds horrible.
Allegedly.
But it's true. Yeah. It's, you know.
I still say she ain't no virgin.
Yeah. I say allegedly every time. I'm sorry.
But I'm sorry, if you catch somebody 10 times and your dumbass forgives him and takes him back 10 times, you deserve whatever's coming to you next. Like, you should have got rid of him after the first time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Yep. Once a cheater, always a cheater. So that don't never change.
So since we're talking about houses, Kimberly and TJ have met up in India, and she met the family. She exchanged gifts. Everything was good up until we got to seeing the apartment that she had built kind of like in the attic of their home, kind of like, I don't know, attic, roof. I don't really know where it was up. And there's an apartment, and she kind of had a lot of things that she wanted done, built on the apartment. And he didn't really follow the direction that she gave. Like, she wanted, I don't know, I think in her mind, she thought she was getting like a new build construction. Like, she was going to get this beautiful new build construction home. And I think that she's a little mistaken, because I've seen a lot of homes in India. They're very nice, but there's a lot of like small things that I've noticed that, you know, like in a new build in America, it wouldn't fly.
Yep.
But overseas, you know, there'll be like some small little issues, like different irregularities, I guess you would call them, in the homes, like in the wall or a vent, or the door will be a little lopsided. You know, there'll be some issues, and I don't think that she realized that that was going to be the thing. I think she thought that she was getting something, you know, in our, I guess in our culture, a new build, I think is what she was looking for. And she kind of took it out on him, and he kind of felt like, well, I put my money in this. I put my, you know, my local community helped me build this. This isn't, you know, construction workers. These are normal, everyday rural people who helped build this. And she kind of felt like it was his responsibility to give her everything she wanted the way she wanted it. And I don't know, I just feel like this relationship is not going to work, because first of all, Indian women are submissive to their husbands, not just their husbands, but their whole family. You know, they help take care of the mom, they help take care of the house, they help cook, they help clean, they take over responsibility for the whole family. And I feel like Kimberly's not that type. I mean, I don't want to like judge her, but I just don't feel like she's the type to care about other people other than herself. She's selfish, and she kind of wants what she wants. And the fact that that apartment, like she said, that the door lengths, the heights of the doors were different. And then there was like a door that opened straight into the shower. And I don't know, I've looked at lots of houses because I recently bought one. And I have seen weird doors that open into things. Like I was in a house and the door opened and it hit the sink. Like you open the door and it hit the sink in the bathroom. And I was like, well, why would you put the door here? Because the sink is right there. So now I can't like fully open the door. So I get that. But first of all, what was your impression of the apartment? So you're Kimberly, you walked into the apartment. What would you say?
First of all, last episode, I liked her when we first introduced that. I liked her. I was like, oh, this is going to be a great couple. The parents like her, blah, blah. Now, if I was Kimberly and I just walked into the apartment with that attitude, I would hope somebody came out and kicked my ass, because I would have hoped Dee Dee was there to punch me in the face.
I was going to say, Dee Dee would have handled that real quick.
She is such a spoiled little brat. Like, who the hell does she think she is? I'm blown away by the whole thing. She was terrible.
Yeah. Okay, Dee Dee,
Yeah,
you're walking in. What would you say?
Well, I mean, I would have stayed quiet. Like if I would have seen like little things that she's seen, I mean, I wouldn't have made a big deal out of it. I mean, the man took a 7-year loan mortgage out on his home to build this home for me. I mean, if I seen some things that wasn't up to par, you know, that wasn't the time to say anything, but I would have been like, you know, you think maybe later on we could change this or whatever. Doors are easy to fix. That's an easy fix.
There's a couple of things.
And I mean, I get the sink not being in the bath. And I wouldn't have got mad about it, but I would have been like, well, do you think we could have, you know, could we move this later or something? Mm-hmm. It's just, I would have been more appreciative, because at least I didn't have to sleep in the same bedroom with the other 12 people that live in the house.
Okay.
But he even made the comment, sorry I didn't get somebody from New York. Essentially, like, sorry, I didn't build this up to your country's standards.
Yeah.
You've come to my country, you ungrateful little brat. Like, don't be a dick. If you look at Jen and Rishi and Jenny and Submit, they all live, well, Jenny and Submit don't anymore, but it was expected to live with the parents and all of that. He's gone above and beyond to make sure she's not doing that.
Yeah.
He speaks English. The family likes her. He has all kinds of points, and she just comes in and shits on him. It doesn't make any sense. But one thing that threw me off the most is that he sleeps with the mom and the dad sleeps on the floor for 20 years.
20 years. 20 years.
Because they got into a fight.
I mean, I hold grudges, but if my husband had to sleep on the floor, it wouldn't last for 20 years.
Well, what's the point of staying married if you don't like each other? Because he's like, they got into a fight 20 years ago. So are they not allowed to get divorced in their culture?
I don't know.
Because
I don't think they get a divorce. I think a divorce is like, it's unheard of in the Indian culture.
Okay. So they would literally stay in a loveless marriage and sleep in different rooms forever. That's crazy to me. Like, it's a horrible thing to show your children too, to show them that even if you don't love your wife, you know, you stay there and stay miserable.
Yeah.
I hate that. People don't have to stay in a loveless marriage or stay in a relationship that is toxic. You don't have to. And I think culture and tradition teaching people differently it's horrible. Yeah. I hate that. And TJ did say if there are any issues that you find, you can correct it under your supervision. And I thought that was nice of him because he's paying for everything. Yeah. And he was still giving her the option to correct anything that she didn't like. So instead of being ungrateful and nasty and tearing his work apart, not his work, but tearing the work that his money apart did, I think that she could have just said, hey, I like the fact that you took the initiative to have something for me to live in when I arrived. Because who's to say she arrived and then he started building the apartment? Yeah. Right? Remember when we met Jessica and Juan? Juan's apartments were nowhere near done in a longer amount of time. Yeah. So I feel like he took that initiative and she was just like, this isn't good enough for me. And then she's like, you know what? I compromised, to be here. I gave up my whole life. Nobody asked you to do that. Yep. He did not tell you, give up your whole life and come live with me. I guarantee you that was not his proposal to you. You had a decision to make. When he asked you to marry him, you could have said, I don't want to give up my life. I'm not interested in doing that. And you could have said no. I really, really hate it when people accept a proposal and then go back and try to make the person feel bad for accepting the proposal. Nobody made you do anything that you didn't want to do.
Yeah. Exactly. And he was so excited to show her the apartment. I mean, she could, like I said, at least she has a room apart from the family, because they all 12 sleep in the same room, except for the father. He sleeps in the living room on the floor. I mean, be appreciative. She's all about me, 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 me. That's all she's. Yeah. I don't like her. She's. Yeah.
She's terrible. She is absolutely horrible.
So inconsiderate.
I feel like he's gone. They're tall and skinny places. Like, what else did you want from him? He's literally building on top of the existing house. He's the one compromising. I'm so sick and tired of hearing these people that go to a different country and they're constantly, I sacrifice this and I sacrifice that. And it's all about the sacrifice. Don't do shit for me if you're going to throw it in my face.
Thank you.
Don't ever.
Yeah.
Ever.
And 100%.
All the time.
Yeah, especially the people who move to other countries. It's like they use it as a weapon. Yeah. They're like, well, I did this for you. So no matter what the situation is, you have to give in to me because I did this for you. Yep. But you didn't. Because that's how Armando said it to Kenny. He was like, yeah, you moved to Mexico to be with me. You gave up your life in Florida to be with me. But I didn't force you to do that. It was your decision. So, like, I don't have to do anything to reciprocate what you did. We did this together. It was a decision that we made together. And you could have said no. And I think a lot of people, they forget that. You didn't have to do it. The fact that you gave up everything, you sold your house, you moved, you did all these things, it was of your own free will. Nobody forced you, so nobody owes you anything for your decisions.
Yeah. Although
there's like so unappreciative this season so far.
I know, right?
Stuff though, I was cracking up because everybody's like, "Oh, that's so pretty. That's so nice. This is great." And then she gives the dad the rose quartz, and he's just like, and
But why?
Then the back scratcher comes out, and the dad's eyes light up, and he's like, "Oh, this is great," and it wasn't even for him.
Why would you just want a back scratcher?
I know, that's so weird, but the dad wanted it.
Yeah, he was excited. He was like, "Where do I use this? Show me how to do
well,
it."
Sleeping on the floor all the time, you probably need one.
Well, yeah, sleeping on the hard floor for 20 years, he probably needs one of those massage guns.
Yeah.
Yeah, he probably needs one of those. He probably just needs a whole chiropractor at this point, right? Yeah. He probably just needs to see a whole chiropractor. That might be better.
Absolutely. Oh my gosh.
I don't know, but next week it's supposed to be an explosive bomb, so we'll see.
Yep.
So what are you excited about seeing next week? What in the preview caught your attention?
Freaking, unfortunately, Danielle. She caught my attention.
Well, yeah, I told you I'm excited to see Danielle and Johan only because I know this is supposed to be the end of the relationship, and the explosions and the outbursts and the craziness is going to be at its worst. You know, when people break up, that's when the ugliness comes out. What's up, Soulja Boy? That's when the ugliness comes out. So I'm ready to see them. I mean, we've been waiting for them to break it off. There's clearly been no love in this relationship for quite a long time, right? So we've been kind of just waiting for the end of it because we're like, how long are they going to hold on to this relationship where they're just taking shots at each other back and forth? You know, that's all that they're doing. We watched the whole season of them just taking shots at each other back and forth and saying nasty things to each other. So I'm ready to see them say what they want to say for the last time and just call it quits, because I know Danielle is leaving the DR, right? I heard that she's leaving the DR. I think she's already back in New York now, but we're going to see that process. And we're going to see how that came about. And I want to see how Johan stood up for himself, because I feel like we've been building
I don't see how he ain't punched her in the face yet. I've been done.
Didi, I tell you, he can't do that. Johan is, first of all, Johan is like 155 feet tall. Yeah. He can't even reach her. So he can't.
Well, if I was Johan, I would pay somebody. I would pay a woman to punch her in the face.
If he was walking fast enough with his arms swinging, I feel like something could happen accidentally.
Guys, I'm being violent today. Yeah, I don't know what's wrong with me.
Being violent. We don't condone violence here at the George Mossey Show.
I condone violence.
If it happens, we will watch it, but we don't like encourage it in any way. We don't encourage it in any way. Well, I don't. Didi might. I don't.
You guys know y'all be cheering me on. Y'all know y'all would be like, punch her again, punch her again.
Absolutely. I got your back.
All right, so
Georgia's going to get bail. It's fine.
Well, right. I have to know when we're hanging out to bring a credit card with at least.
That's right, Miss Donna. I stay ready.
Yep.
I stay ready. That's just the Southern in me. I'll be ready to punch people in the face all the time.
Me too.
I gotta keep bail money when I hang out with y'all. I have to keep bail money. I don't know what y'all are gonna be getting into.
Yep.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, so apparently Danielle is working at a resort. Okay, so she's back in New York working at a resort. Okay, yeah. So yeah, I'm excited to see what's going on with Danielle. And aren't we meeting at least one more couple for this season?
So, but I didn't see any previews for another one.
Neither did I. I was very confused. So I'm going to have to look into that.
Yeah.
Because I could have swore there was at least one additional couple.
I thought so.
But that's going to be episode 4 next week. But I think we've been as late as episode 6 meeting people before.
Yeah.
So it could be that we're going to meet them even later in the season, because it's been 3 episodes and we haven't seen Danielle and Johan. So I'm assuming that the breakup is going to happen more sooner than later when we do see them. Right. I think we'll see them for like 3 or 4 episodes and then they're going to be separated. So, and I think we'll have to meet somebody else. So we'll see how that goes.
I hope that it's over sooner than later.
Wait, what other couple is hot? Who's hot? Are you talking about Julio and Kirsten?
they're a very nice looking couple, but I wouldn't go as far as anybody being hot on this.
Marixie says hot. Yeah, who's hot? I'm curious to know who's the hot couple this season.
I'm thinking no.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, maybe Julio and Kirsten. So I think that they think Julio. They are good-looking people. They are. They're definitely good-looking people, and I think that their relationship is strong. Julio just has to grow a pair, and he's got to stop withholding information from people you love. When you love someone, be honest with them. Don't withhold information. It's hurtful when you withhold information. I know it's hurtful when you tell people information they don't like, but it hurts even more when they have to find out about it way down the line because it makes them feel less important to you.
Absolutely.
Yeah, exactly. Especially when it comes to your parents. You have to tell your parents, you know, or your mom or your dad or whoever you're close with, you know.
Well, yeah.
Don't give them like a bombshell, drop a bombshell on them like Julio did. So, yeah.
Yeah, that was a lesson to everybody of what not to do.
Yep.
If you plan on moving to another country, tell your mom first.
Yeah.
Not last, right? If you plan on moving to another country.
Which man is talking about us, Miss Donna? Who am I gonna have to punch in the face tonight?
Who's talking about what?
So that man is clearly talking about Didi and Cara.
Who?
Didi and Cara?
Who?
Wait,
what did who's talking about me? Who talking about me and Cara?
What the heck did I miss?
I don't know.
Wait, is Julio in here? I think Julio is in here.
Oh, probably.
Julio, are you in here? I think that Where's Wiki is Julio. I'm not positive though.
Could be. Let's see. Well, I didn't say anything bad about it. I just said they were boring. And I'm not wrong.
Oh, yeah.
I also said
Donna said if she breastfed you, you have to be honest with her. I think that's true, right? If you gave someone life and you kept them alive, I think they need to be honest with you. I think that's true.
Yeah, you need to tell. I mean, you need to talk if him and his mom is as close as he says they are. I mean, he should have told her as soon as he knew that they were a legit thing and that he applied for the residency. He should have told her then. Dropping a bombshell, having your girlfriend fly all the way from the Netherlands, have her sitting down in your mom's home eating dinner, and then you're going to drop the bombshell? Once again, guys, I would have punched my son in the face. So, I mean...
It was a bad situation.
That is Julio, by the way.
I mean, that is really disrespectful.
Julio in here like a ninja. I didn't even know he was in here. Just
right. I'm
incognito.
Stalking him.
Yeah, incognito. What's up, Julio? We don't like how you did Kirsten and your mom. I'm just going to be honest with you.
That's very disrespectful. That is a no.
We think you're a good guy and all, but we think that your mom deserved to know way sooner. Like, way sooner. Don't tell her you're going to leave the country, like, right before you do it.
Also,
we don't agree. We want you to do better next time. You know, treat your mom like she's the one that gave you life. You know, treat her a little better.
Your mom is gorgeous.
Right?
So
she is. She's beautiful.
Absolutely beautiful.
I mean, and too, whenever she married his stepdad, what did she say? I'm not leaving without my son.
Yeah, that's exactly what she said.
So he's gonna be leaving the country without telling his mom until the last minute. Yeah. That is so disrespectful.
That hurt my heart.
Yeah, that hurt my heart.
We disapprove. 100% we disapprove.
Yep.
We think that it should have been done a little better. We're not mad at you, we just disapprove, you know?
Very, very disappointed.
But we do like you guys. We do like you guys as a couple. I do
too. I do. I think that they're very much in love and they live together first, so they know that they can tolerate each other, even during COVID. So yeah, we think that y'all are good, you're strong. We just want you to be a little more honest with everybody involved. Boom. That's it.
Especially your mama.
Yeah.
Yep.
Gotta treat mom better. All right, guys, that's it for this episode. We're gonna come back next Sunday for before the 90 days, another episode. And make sure you're following my co-hosts, Cara and Didi. They're tagged in this video. And follow me at George Mossey on all social media platforms. And anywhere you get your podcast, type in The George Mossey Show on any streaming music service. Thank you to all of you for joining us for the live. I posted on my story today. We were trending and we charted on the national charts.
Nice.
And that is because of you guys, everyone who watches and listens and interacts with us. I really appreciate it. I appreciate it. Cara and Didi appreciate it. We couldn't do anything without all of you guys supporting us and listening to us ramble on for all this about a show that we all love. So thank you guys so much. We'll see all of you guys on Sunday night. We have so much more drama to uncover.
Yes.
Thank you guys for joining me. We'll see you all really soon.
See you next week.
Bye.
Bye, guys.